I want to go ahead and jump into another topic. Staying on the Tom Brady thing, the Tom Brady theme as far as the GOAT, I want to go ahead and get into this as far as a comparison of GOATs, as far as who is the better GOAT. Now, Tom Brady's just, of course, recorded his seventh championship ring, whereas you look at Michael Jordan had six. But Michael Jordan only took six. He only had six opportunities, but he won all six. But that debate is getting a little bit more intense, a little bit more hot. As far as who is the greater GOAT? Is it Michael Jordan, or is it still Michael Jordan as the creme de la creme, or is Tom Brady in that conversation? He's
Well,
certainly in that conversation, but is he better now than Michael Jordan? Has he accomplished are his accomplishments more impressive than Michael Jordan's?
so this
What's
is
your
just
take?
a Brady. So this is just a Brady versus Jordan conversation, like
For right
like
now,
right
and we can, of
now,
course, we
for
can
right
go
now.
into other goats if you want. Talk about later on. We go ahead and discuss possibly the great one Gretzky or was some other maybe even like a Lewis
Serena,
Hamilton, Serena
Lewis
Williams.
Hamilton,
Yeah,
Serena,
yeah.
Nicholas.
But
Okay,
Brady, but sticking on Brady Jordan. I mean, what's your take on that little head to head matchup?
here's my thing with Jordan versus Brady. Um, you can make an argument Sunday that Brady was okay. He probably, I mean, Fournette had a great game. The defense was lights out. Was he truly the best player on the field? Whereas
Hmm.
when Jordan played in the finals, there was no question who the best player was on out there on the court on both sides of the ball.
Hmm.
He did it on the offensive side and the defensive side. I mean, there was no question at all who the best player was. And then
Right.
we can look at uh, the
And
fact that
while you're talking real quick, I just put up a graphic here, and
okay,
this just recently came out, obviously since Tom Brady just won the Super Bowl. This is Michael Jordan. It's kind of a head-to-head Michael Jordan versus Tom Brady. Now you can't
okay,
see this, but I'm gonna just kind of give you an idea as far as the breakdown. Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, Tom Brady 20 seasons. Rings, Michael Jordan 6, Brady 7. Finals appearances, Jordan 6, Brady 10. MVPs, I'm assuming this is regular MVPs. Michael Jordan 5, Tom Brady 3. Uh, see FM. Let's see. Fine. I guess this is MVPs or Finals MVP.
Finals
Yeah, I guess
MVP.
Finals
Yep.
MVPs. Finals MVPs. Now this is a little bit closer. This is Jordan 6. He was MVP in all
Yeah.
every NBA Finals he played. But Tom Brady 5, so half. So he's about half and half. Okay, win percentage. Michael Jordan 65.9%, Tom Brady 76.4%. Let's see, ROTY. Jordan won. This is rookie of the year. I guess that's rookie of the year. Jordan won, Brady 0. Teams, of course, they both played for two teams. All-star appearances and Pro Bowls, 14 of 14. Now, points to touchdowns leaders, I guess points to over TD leaders, so 10 to 4. I don't know exactly what that statistic is. And then all NBA or all NBA or all pro selections, Michael Jordan 11 to Tom Brady's 5. So there's, that's kind of a little bit of a head to head as far as the numbers break down. But go ahead, Marlon. Back to
Well,
your point.
Jordan. I mean, Brady played 20 years. I mean, it's almost. I'm gonna get people in their feelings right now, but you can almost, the next year or so, put LeBron in this conversation instead of
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, just for the simple fact of the longevity that LeBron has had. The fact that he has taken more than one team, like Brady did, to championships. LeBron took four.
Right.
Um, so I think, and plus, in my personal opinion, um, with LeBron this year, I mean, obviously we're not even at the we're almost at the All Star break for the NBA, and the
Mm-hmm.
Lakers are right up there with their second or third in their division.
Right.
But in my opinion, if LeBron ends up going through this road and gets to the finals, and he'll probably end up playing Brooklyn, and if he beats Brooklyn, I mean, I put the eggs before they hatch.
Mm-hmm.
That he wins over 5 years if Jordan had six, but if he wins five, going through this road this late in his career, putting up the
Right.
numbers that he's putting up, then it's almost a foregone conclusion with him, as far as I'm concerned. And it's easier to like LeBron now because he's a Laker, but I've always been a staunch critic of
Yeah,
LeBron.
you have, and I've been just the opposite. I've been that dude that has been trying to
Yeah.
like tell everybody that LeBron James is the greatest thing since sliced bread, man. Since the day that he entered the league. Nah, the exception to Jordan, of course, Kobe Bryant conversation, but yeah,
Yeah, but I think it compared to what LeBron, I mean, it's literally to the point where, whereas as many Super Bowls as Brady has been in, you can call that the Brady Invitational, like you
hmm
can call the NBA Finals.
the LeBron
LeBron,
invitation. How many NBA Finals has
nine of
LeBron been in?
nine of the last
And
10.
granted, he hasn't. He's got about as many losses as Tom Brady does as far as Super Bowl losses,
Hey, he's
or
been to
more, if
nine of
not
the
more.
last 10. Nine of the
Yeah,
last 10
that
with
now
four
that is
different teams.
insane.
With
That,
four
that
different
that's what
teams.
that's what Brady hasn't done that.
With four different teams, and he did it
Yeah,
on both in the Eastern and Western Conference. You
yeah.
know, and
Now let me ask you this right now. Right now, would you have LeBron James as far as the MVP, or is he in that conversation?
he's always in the conversation. Yeah, I thought he should have won it last year, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know, they gave it to the Greek Freak, but when you look at what LeBron did, I mean, I know everybody's going to say, well, he has Anthony Davis and so on, but the fact of the matter is, without LeBron,
hmm
uh, with the type of player that he is, I mean, making teammates play better. I mean, he's a super hybrid, athletic version of Magic, as we all know.
right,
And Anthony Davis is a 20 and 10 guy who plays defense, whatever, but he's not going to make those around you better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, LeBron
right.
can stake you up, and so uh, yeah, I just think that the way LeBron's playing now, I mean, he's had two triple doubles in his last four games, and
hmm
he's 36 years old, and
Yeah,
he's still shooting right on 50 or so percent. He's
his
averaging
numbers are
25,
ridiculous for his
yeah,
age and what
25,
he's
7, and
doing.
7. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. And then
I mean, come
you
on.
think about it. He didn't play. Look at Tom Brady for most of his career, pretty much his entire career. He's had great coaches. He had Bill Belichick, for his first 19
Oh,
seasons or whatever. And
yeah,
then even
dude.
Bruce Arians is not a slouch. Like I said, Bruce Arians took a Cardinals franchise that was struggling. The Cardinals franchise that won, I think, something like 5 games the previous season before he took that program over, and then went 10-6 his first season in 2013. Didn't make the playoffs. It took them 10-6. This is a team that got beat by the Seattle Seahawks the previous season under Ken Wisenhunt, like something like 56-3 or something ridiculous. Took them to 10-6, and then the next season took them to like 11 wins, 11-5, and then to 13-3. Got them to the conference championships, and then even in the seasons that they struggled, they were like 7-9-1. I think one season, and the other season it was 8-8.
Right.
So he's a damn good coach. He's a goddamn good coach. Versus LeBron
Yeah,
James, and LeBron James had Paul Silas. He had
Oh, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell
Mike
you right now.
Brown. Yeah,
He
go ahead.
took he took Mike Brown. He won with. You can probably say the best coach that he's won with is Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, think about that for a minute. Tyronn Lue, Mike Brown,
exactly,
and Frank
exactly.
Vogel.
Yeah,
Come on, man. It's not like he had Phil Jackson.
he didn't have Phil Jackson like Michael
He didn't
Jordan and
have
Kobe and
Phil.
Shaq. Mm-mm.
Exactly. He
Yeah,
didn't have Red Auerbach. He didn't have Pat Riley.
yeah,
He had. Don't forget that before Tyronn Lue, he started that season with David Blatt as a head coach.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Remember
did.
Dave? He
Yeah,
had Dave Blatt, and Dave Blatt isn't even coaching anymore.
no,
I don't think he's coached for 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
And that's what, and then you look at the fact that the year that he's trying to win an NBA championship when Kyrie Irving goes out,
right,
Kevin Love
exactly.
is out.
Kevin Love went out the
It's
first round against the Celtics. When it
the second
was it
best
Kelly
player.
Olynyk that went ahead and dislocated his elbow or his shoulder or whatever? I thought that play was dirty. And then like you said, Kyrie Irving got hurt in the end of regulation. That game one against the Golden State Warriors went into overtime, and he was out at the end of regulation. And then LeBron James almost literally put that team on his back and willed them to a championship win anyway. He
Matthew
almost beat them.
Dellavedova was his second best player.
Yeah, people forget
Matthew
that.
Dellavedova. Let
People
that sink
forget
in for a
that.
minute.
Yeah,
And Armand, he took a team that played against the Golden State Warriors that was down 3-1,
yes,
and
there
Golden
was
State
73 regular season wins.
out
73
and,
regular season wins.
and LeBron came back and won that game.
Yes,
Won that series.
took him won that series.
against a 73-win team.
And you can say, oh, he had Kyrie Irving and whatnot, Kevin. What was Kyrie Irving doing before LeBron James came to Cleveland?
Yeah.
They weren't sniffing the playoffs, man.
Well, you just look at where the franchises are. The Cavaliers are still struggling. Miami got to the finals last year, but they had a fantastic year with Butler. But prior to that,
it's looking a little bit. It's looking more like an aberration, at least right now.
Yeah,
that Miami team
right
that
now,
made it to
sure.
the NBA Finals was an aberration.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
So, he leaves and the franchises are horrible.
They crumble.
And don't forget, he came to the Lakers. The Lakers hadn't been in the playoffs in over a decade, dude.
Exactly.
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? And then he gets hurt. And then he gets hurt. For the first time in his career, he sits over 10 or so games, and they don't go to the playoffs.
And people started writing him off, man. But that there are LeBron haters that were going to write him. I knew that they were going to try to write him. Oh, man, see, LeBron James did. He couldn't take the Lakers to the playoffs. Like, how many final appearances has he been to, man? And that's still not enough for y'all?
And don't forget, there's the argument they were saying was, it's easier for him to do it in the East Coast. He hasn't done it out West.
Exactly.
That argument's over with.
That's done. That's done. And go ahead.
They're saying right now at this moment that he's having a better defensive year than Kawhi Leonard right now. They're saying LeBron's defense has picked up. He hasn't played this good a defense in probably 5 or 6 years.
Right.
So I've seen a couple articles saying that right now he's a better defensive player than Kawhi, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, and he's still carrying his weight. He's not just some old dude that's on a bunch of a squad full of all-stars. He's more than carrying his weight. He's still the leader of that club, not just on the sidelines or in the locker room. He's the leader on the court.
Yeah,
he's still just about every time that he goes out on the basketball court, he's the best player on the court. Still, and he's 36 years old, man. And look at all that time that he's played and all those postseason NBA appearances.
18 years in the league.
18 years in the league. And then you include those NBA, you include all those long stretches of playoff appearances. He probably played another season, a season and a half, man, of basketball if you include the playoff experience. And then like some of the other postseason stuff, like as far as the Olympics, World Championships.
Oh yeah,
he's participated in over the number of years, representing America. He's played in at least probably about another season and a half, 2 seasons of basketball, if you include all of that.
Right.
On top of what he's done in the regular season.
And he still played at an all-star level. He was first team All-NBA last year.
Yeah.
In his championship year, was a finalist for the MVP. At what point do we stop having our old school classic? Michael Jordan. We sound like our grandfathers or our dads when they were talking about Wilt Chamberlain or
Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain.
I know Jordan is alpha and omega, and we both saw him play. We both had the opportunity to see him play his prime, but LeBron, I'm telling you, to play at the level he's playing at 18 years into the league, and like you said, and plus, Brady had to play 3 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Rodgers, he beat Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes. That's 3 games.
Yeah.
So LeBron.
And those are 3 quarterbacks, 3 exceptional quarterbacks, but he's not playing against them. He's playing against them, but he don't have to stop them on defense.
Right.
He don't have to shut those guys down on defense. Because like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, to shut down they're guarding the best players on the opposite side of the court.
Right,
and have to try to shut them down or neutralize them.
Right, like it's going to be, LeBron's going to have to guard Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and both those players are in their prime.
Exactly.
He's going to have to checkle, man.
He's going to have to guard those guys. He's going to have to guard. There's going to be times if get to the finals they play Milwaukee, he's going to have to guard the Greek Freak, or he's going to have to guard James Harden or Kevin Durant or whoever he faces through the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns make the playoffs. Devin Booker. So he's going to have to guard those guys, man.
Houston, Utah,
Mitchell. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
Golden State still.
Golden State, exactly.
It's going to be a tough road just to get to the finals. And if he gets there, it's either going to be Milwaukee or Brooklyn. As far as I'm concerned.
Right. So as far as I want to take it back. As far as like the Brady Jordan debate.
Sure, sure.
You still have Jordan. Sounds like you still have Jordan ahead of Tom Brady. Like I have him. I have Jordan ahead of Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Just look at the. I
he's
mean,
six
just
and
looking at the
zero. He's
comparables.
6-0. He's 6-0.
Yeah.
And it's and obviously to win NBA championship you have to play 7 games to win it. And Jordan never went to a game 7, like
Right.
ever in his
No.
career.
No, he didn't.
So as far as I'm concerned, and he put numbers up every time, and he was literally the eyes don't lie. When there was no debate, no
Those numbers
discussion.
were insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no discussion who the best player was out there in the finals. There was no, okay, well he had Pippen, he had Rob. Yeah, I know that, but Jordan was the best player on the court in the finals every time they
Right.
played. I mean, it wasn't even close.
I hear you.
So yeah,
I hear
definitely,
you.
definitely
Jordan
Jordan
over
over.
Jordan
Yeah.
over Brady. And I think we're both in agreement as far as that debate, as far as the Brady Jordan. It's like pump your brakes a little bit on Brady. Yes, he's an all time GOAT as far as football and as far as especially at quarterback. But when it comes to other sports, and we didn't talk about him versus Serena Williams, where he compares Serena Williams to somebody like a Tiger Woods or somebody like a Jack Nicklaus, or
Gretzky.
somebody like Lewis Hamilton, et
Yeah, that's a
cetera, et
good one
cetera.
right there. People sleep on him. People
Yeah,
sleep
they
on
do.
Lewis.
They do because that's a European and a global
Yeah,
thing. There's not too many Grand Prix that go through the states. Most of those,
and
are
he
Monaco
does
and all over the
not
world.
he does not lose.
No, you're talking about the most dominant driver. I think he's a
Right.
he. He's I can't think of another driver that's anywhere near as dominant in any race in any
No,
race discipline. Not NASCAR,
no.
not Indy
Uh,
stock car, not I don't know drag racing or anything, but there's nobody. There's nobody, and I grew up a big Formula One guy. I grew up
uh,
Ayrton Senna. Now I remember when they used to have the Phoenix Grand Prix here in Phoenix,
oh yeah.
downtown Phoenix. I used to beg my mom to take me, to buy me some tickets so I could go watch the Grand Prix. And she like, boy, boy, I ain't got no goddamn Grand Prix money. She ain't got no Formula One money, boy. Shut your ass down.
uh,
But I grew up, man, watching Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill and
oh
Mika
yeah.
Hakkinen. Not John Lacey was one of my all-time favorite drivers in the Formula One circuit. I followed all those other greats, man, but none of them can really, as far as I'm concerned, can hold a stick to what Lewis Hamilton has been able to do with Team Mercedes, man. And he signed an extension, a 1 year extension with Team Mercedes. I read that the other day,
Really?
and yeah, he's going to be with them at least one more year. And as far as probably the most paid don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's the highest paid athlete in professional sports right
Oh,
now.
he is. Yeah, he has to be. We can research that like for another show, but
Hmm.
I think that's a foregone conclusion about the amount of money he gets paid and makes. I mean, just from his sponsorships and uh, what he makes per race, and he's got to be up at the top 5 as far as winnings and money. You're right about that.